Okay, so this whole thing right through here, the entirety of the ear, is also known as the auricle. So the whole thing right through there is the auricle. This outer portion right through here is the helix. And if you follow the helix, it's going to lead you down here to the lobule, which is this part right through here. This portion right through here is the tragus. Use a different color. So the tragus is that part right through there. And the antitragus is this part right through here. That's the antitragus. And then this entire area right through here is the concha. And that's going to lead you to the opening for the external acoustic meatus. So if we look here, we can see the actual canal. So this is the external acoustic canal right through here. And it's going to go this way and lead us to where the tympanic membrane would be. And we'll see that in just a second. So this space right through here is the tympanic proper cavity. So this is the location where we would see the ear ossicles. Now that leads us to this thing, which is the pharyngeotympanic tube, which we also have seen as the eustachian tube or the auditory tube. Here on top, we can see a muscle called the tensor tympani muscle. Here on the bottom, we can see the levator valli palatini, which we saw on the last test. Here at the top, we can see the cochlea. We can see the vestibule here, which we'll see again in a second. And then we can also see the semicircular canals, and we'll see that again in just a moment. So from the top view here, we can see this. This is the cochlea. Now, these two together are the vestibulocochlear nerve, but where they kind of diverge here, we get the cochlear nerve and the vestibular nerve, which is going to come here to the vestibule, which is that area. This area back here is the posterior semicircular canal. This is the anterior semicircular canal, and this is the lateral semicircular canal. If you use this as your landmark, you'll always know that this is posterior. So this has got to be the posterior canal. Okay, as we keep looking here, we can see the vestibule again. We can see the cochlea, which is this right through here. And as we look right through here, we can see there's an enlargement right through here. And this is the ampulla. So the ampulla is part of the semicircular canal here that connects to the vestibule, and it's an enlarged area. So back here we see the semicircular canal, and you can see it's covered over, but if you look here, you can see that we can actually see some of the fluid. So this is the semicircular duct. So the duct is where the fluid is actually passing. The canal is this part right through here where we can't see that. Okay, here are the bones that we're going to see. Let's take a look at this tympanic membrane first. The tympanic membrane is also known as the eardrum. And if we kind of divide it out, we can see this one part like through here. All of this section through here is known as the pars tensa. And then there's another area right here at the very top called the pars flaccida. So one's under tension, one's kind of flaccid or loose. Now when we look through this tympanic membrane, also known as our eardrum, we can also see this bone hanging down. This bone is part of the malleus. This is the umbo of the malleus, and this is the handle of the malleus, and we're going to see those in just a second as well. So this entire bone here in front, right through here, that is the malleus. This is the umbo. This is the handle. This is the neck here, and then this is the head of the malleus. Here we can see the next bone, which is the incus. This is the body through here. This is the short limb. This here is the long limb right through here. So this is the long limb. And that's going to lead you to this curved part right through there, which is the lenticular process. And that's the part that's going to connect with this bone, which is the stapes. With the stapes, we just need to know that it's the stapes, and then where we see the green dot, this is the base of the stapes. So right here where we see the stapes attaching to the vestibule is where we're going to see the round window, the oval window. The oval window is the attachment site of that. And then we can also see right underneath where we see number 29, this is where the round window would be. It's just going to be a small circle. We're not going to see it from this point of view. Now, this model here is showing us the cochlea, and it's showing us at least part of the vestibule as well. So what we can see here represented in purple, this area through here, is called the Scala Vestibuli. And if we look on the bigger model, it would continue up just like this. And that would be the Scala Vestibuli. It's going to be separated out right through here by this vestibular membrane, also known as Reisner's membrane. And here, we're going to have the actual cochlear duct. So this part right through there, that we see right through there, this is all part of the cochlear duct. This part right through here is our spiral organ of Corti. And this thing that we see that it's sitting on top of right there in blue, this is the basement membrane. And then we have this last part right through here, which is the the Scala Tympani, which is on the bottom portion, which is also seen here in blue. So again, vestibulocochlear nerve. Okay, we see this part going to the cochlea, this part going to the vestibule itself. And then that should be everything that we need to see for today's material. There's one other thing I do want to point out, and that's a couple of spaces. The spaces that we can see right through here, we already said that this was the middle ear, but we also know that this is the tympanic proper cavity, this area right through here. Above it, we see the epitympanic recess, which is this space through there. And just superior to that, we see a portion of bone right through here called the tegmen tympani. And that piece of bone is the part that is just above the epitympanic recess that's separating out the middle ear from the actual cranial fossa.